from the store. She's going to speak from there.
Bob Presley said he talked to Scott about it. Scott was going to watch it.
Thank you. No, Scott was not here. Thank you.
So who said that? What did you say? No kidding.
To get up and okay. Oh my gosh.
Bill and Ann.
Shabbat Shalom. We begin this Shabbat service, a special time in our week, where we can shed the day-to-day worries and leave them behind, to re-energize our bodies and our souls. Elah Hamda Libi means God is my heart's desire. Appear, do not hide. Let's get ready to expand and re-energize our bodies and souls with this song. You can find it on page 11.
Eile Hamda Libi, Husana ve'ana titalem. 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 Eile Hamda Libi, Husana ve'ana titalem.
I would like to ask Susan Novick to come up and Erlene Schechter to share in the lighting of the Shabbat candles.
O source of light and truth, creator of the eternal law of goodness, help us to find knowledge by which to live. Lead us to take the words we shall speak into our hearts and into our lives. Bless all who enter the sanctuary in need and all who bring the offerings of their hearts. May our worship leaders to ask of kindness, peace, and love.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lechad likneh, lechad likneh shel Shabbat.
Thank you. You got away with it. You should have been standing up, but It's time to greet everyone here. Please take the time to turn around and meet people you don't know. Welcome them into Temple Mount Sinai. Oh, Pepper. So, now that the candles have been lit, Shabbat has begun. We greeted each other. Let us greet the Sabbath bride with Lecha Dodi on page 20.
Lecha Dodi likrat kala, penei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, penei Shabbat nekabela. Shamor v'zachor b'dibur echad, Hishmianu el cham yuchad, Adonai echad u'shmo echad, L'shem u'tiferet v'litila. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, penei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, penei Shabbat nekabela. Likrat Shabbat lechu v'nelcha, ki mikor bracha, merosh mekedem nesucha, sof ma'aseh b'machshava chtila. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, penei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, penei Shabbat nekabela. Hitoreri, kiva orech kumi ori, uri, shir daberi, kivod Adonai alayich nigila. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, penei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, penei Shabbat nekabela. Please rise. בואי ושלום, עטרת בעלה, גם בשמחה ובצהלה, תוך אמוני עם סגולה, בואי כלה, בואי כלה, לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה, לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה.
You may be seated. Turn to page 27. Teach me, O God, a blessing, a prayer on the mystery of the withered leaf, on ripened fruit so fair, on the freedom to see, to sense, to breathe, to know, to hope, to despair. Teach my lips a blessing, a hymn of praise, as each morning and night you renew your days. Lest my day be today as the one before, lest routine set my ways. Entrances to holiness are everywhere. The possibility of ascent is all the time. Even at unlikely times and through unlikely places, there is no place on earth without the presence. Please rise and turn to page 48 for the Baruch Hu.
Am I awake? Am I prepared? Are you listening to my prayer? Can you hear my voice? Can you understand? Am I awake? Am I prepared? Yalalai, 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 Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Le'olam Va'ed, Le'olam Va'ed. Yalalai, lai, lai, 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 yalalai, lai, lai.
Please join me on page 30 for the Ma'ariv Aravim in Hebrew. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bidvaro ma'ariv aravim, b'chochma poteach she'arim, uvitvuna mishaneh itim, umachalif et chazmanim, umasader et hakochavim, b'mishmortechem bi'arkir kirtzona. Borei yom v'layla, golel or mifnei hoshech v'hoshech mifnei or. Uma'avir yom umevi laila, umavdil ben yom laila, Sabaot Shemo, El Hai V'Kayam Tamid Yimloch Aleinu Le'olam Va'ed, Baruch Atah Adonai, Hama'ariv Aravim. Rabbi Jill Jacobs reminds us that Shabbat is a crucial reminder that our success will depend not on the actions of one day, but on our cumulative actions over many years. It's a day that forces us to confront the limitations of our abilities as humans while restoring ourselves for the work ahead. If we are to bring about a perfected world, we need not only the combined effort of human beings, but also a deep partnership with God, as we recite the central affirmation of our faith, reminding ourselves of God's oneness and incomparability. We turn to page 34.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Hashem, Kevod Malchuto, Le'olam Vaed.
You may be seated.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך. והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך. ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם. בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך וקשרתם לאות על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובישעריך למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם אלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
We are on page 39. Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before we ever stood at Sinai's foot. That wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt, that there is a better place, a promised land, that the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness, that there is no way to get from here to there except by joining hands, marching together. Turn to the next page and join us on Micha Mocha.
Yai lai 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 lai. Yai lai 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 lai. Lai 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 lai. Lai 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 lai. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai. Mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh. Nora tehilot al seifele. O seifele. Malechutecha ra'uvanecha. Bokei ayam lifnei Moshe u'Miriam. Ze'eli anu ve'ameru. Adonai imloch le'olam va'ed. Yai lai 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 lai. Yai lai 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 lai. Yai lai 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 lai. Yai lai 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 lai.
Thus it is said, Adonai redeemed Jacob from a hand stronger than his own. Praised are you, Adonai, for redeeming Israel. Baruch atah Adonai, Ga'al Yisrael. Page 43. Give us a place to rest, Adonai our God. Bring us into shelter in the soft, long evening shadows of your truth. For with you are true protection and safety, and in your presence are acceptance and gentle love. Watch over us as we go forth. Prepare for us as we return. Spread over us your shelter of peace, over all we love, over our Jerusalem and yours. Baruch atah Adonai, ha-porei sukat shalom aleinu, ve'al kol amo Yisrael, ve'al Yerushalayim. On the bottom of page 44. No. I'm sorry. Prayer, and we're on page 47. Prayer invites us. Prayer invites God's presence to suffuse our spirits, God's will to prevail in our lives. Prayer may not bring water to parched fields, nor mend a broken bridge, nor rebuild a ruined city, but prayer can water an arid soil, mend a broken heart, rebuild a weakened will. Please rise for tefillah on page 46.
Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol Hagibur v'Hanorah, El Elyon, Gomel Hasadim Tovim, V'konei Hakol, V'zocher Hasei Avot v'imahot, Umevi gula livnei bneihem, leman shemo be'ava, melech hozer umoshia umagen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham, Bezrat Sarah, Atah gibor le'olam Adonai, Mechayei hakol atah rav lechoshia, Morid hatah, Mechachel chayim bechesed, Mechayei hakol berachamim rabim, Somech noflim verofeh cholim, Umatir asurim, Umekayem emunato, Lishenei afar, Michamocha bal gevurot, Umido melach, Melech meni tu mechaye, umatzmiach Yeshua, v'ne'eman atah lechayot hakol, Baruch atah Adonai, mechaye hakol, atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, ukdoshim bechol yom yechallelucha selah, Baruch atah Adonai, ha'el hakadosh.
You may be seated. In the quiet of the silent prayer, we can reflect on how we have been blessed. We are thankful for the wealth of family and friends. We are thankful for our bodies that allow us to feel the sunshine on our faces. We are thankful for this wonderful country that has fed our families and let us live in peace. Please take some time now to read through the prayers in the prayer book or listen to the words in your heart. We will return to our services on page 62.
Holy One, give me a quiet heart. Holy One, give me a quiet heart. Elohai nitzor, lishonim mira, usvatai medaber mirma. Elohai nitzor, lishonim mira, usvatai medaber mirma. Holy One, give me a quiet heart. Holy One, give me a quiet heart. Yehiu leratzon imrefi vehegyon libi lefanecha. Adonai tzuri, tzuri v'goli. Adonai tzuri v'goli. Holy One, give me a quiet heart. Holy One, give me a quiet heart.
As we ease out of the prayers of the Amidah, we have left out a communal prayer in which we all can help support those of our congregational families, our own family and friends, and ourselves. Praying for someone else's health and well-being is so powerful, especially as a congregation. We can pray for healing for many things, for physical illness, for emotional trauma, for the spiritual connection. As I pass my hands over the people in our congregation, if you have someone who is in need of healing prayer, please say their names out loud.
Mary Louise Rosenbush.
We now turn to the Misha Berach, which is on the back of our handout.
Mi sheberach avoteinu, Avraham, Yitzchak, veYaakov. Mi sheberach imotenu, Sarah, Rivka, Leah, veRachel. May the ones who blessed our mothers, may the one who blessed our fathers, hear our prayer. 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 Hear our prayer and bless us as well. Bless us with the power of your healing. Bless us with the power of your hope. May our hearts be filled with understanding and strengthened by the power of your love. Bless us with the vision for tomorrow. Help us to reach out to those in pain. May the warmth of friendship ease our sorrow. Give us courage, give us faith, show us the way. Mi sheberach avoteinu, mi sheberach imotenu. Hear our prayer. Hear our prayer. Hear our prayer. Hear our prayer and bless us as well. Hear our prayer. Hear our prayer. Hear our prayer. Hear our prayer. Hear our prayer and bless us as well.
May the one who blessed our ancestors, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Sarah, Rebecca, Rachel, and Leah, bless and heal those who are ill. May the blessed Holy One be filled with compassion for their health to be restored and their strength to be revived. Binder of wounds, open me to unplanned wonder, that shimmering energy in the space between. May God swiftly send them a complete renewal of body and spirit, and let us say, Amen. In synagogues, churches, and in every other spiritual institution, we are seeing the aging of our congregations. People in my generation are seeing their parents, and sometimes their friends, suffer from Alzheimer's or dementia. But do you know how to notice it in your loved one? How can you get better conversations with your medical provider? The Alzheimer's Association helps people walk through this maze. The National Alzheimer's Association raises money to pay for research all over the world, and it has paid off. We have seen the many new medications coming onto the market just in the past 3 or 4 months. Maria Llamas, Director of Program and Services for the West Texas chapter of the Alzheimer's Association, is here to talk to us about the about the Alzheimer's Association and what we can do to help ourselves and our family. Her job is throughout the region, which also includes Amarillo, Lubbock, the Permian Basin, and El Paso. She has a mighty width of places to help. Please, I'd like to call up Maria, and I'm changing your direction. Come and speak here, because this is a better.
Can everybody hear me? Yes? Okay. Well, thank you, Ellen, and all of you for having me here. So I'm going to start with the 10 warning signs. Ellen took a little bit of my speech about the Alzheimer's Association. And so I want you to know the 10 warning signs and symptoms, because if you see any of them, you shouldn't ignore them. And you should schedule an appointment with your doctor, either for yourself, for your loved one, for a friend, for a neighbor, anybody that you might see these warning signs in. So number 1 is memory loss that disrupts daily life. I think all of us forget birthdays, forget what day it is, things like that. But there's something in specific about losing your memory, and it's that disruption of your daily life. So when you start forgetting important dates or events, that's when you should notice that this is a warning sign. Number 2 is challenges in planning or solving problems. So an example would be trouble following a familiar recipe. So if there's something that you cook or that your loved one or friend always cooks and all of a sudden they forget how to do this, then this is a problem or a warning sign. Number 3 is difficulty completing familiar tasks. So this is something that you do all the time, every day. Something like organizing a grocery list whenever you go shopping, and all of a sudden you forget how to do this. So you don't know what you're missing in the pantry, you don't know how to start the list, you don't know what to buy when you go to the store. This would be a warning sign. Number 4 is confusion with time or place. So people who have Alzheimer's and dementia might forget where they are and how they got there. So they don't know the dates, the seasons, the weather, something like that. That would be a warning sign. Number 5 is trouble understanding visual images and spatial relationships. So this is having difficulty with your balance, not being able to stand, falling, trouble reading, problems judging distance and determining color and contrast, which causes issues with driving. So this is why we don't want patients who have Alzheimer's and dementia to be driving, because they might cause an accident. Number 6 is new problems with words in speaking or writing. They might have trouble joining a conversation or even, continuing a conversation. Number 7 is misplacing things and losing the ability to retrace their steps. So putting things in unusual places, and you might think, well, what can you put in, what's an unusual place, or what is something that you can misplace? An example that I've heard in the past is putting shoes in the refrigerator. Just things like that you wouldn't think, like, who would do that? Why would they do that? That's an example of misplacing things. Number 8 is decreased or poor judgment. Poor judgment when dealing with money. Maybe they don't know how much money they're really donating, or the person is asking for, or when paying a bill, they pay less or they pay more. They also pay less attention to grooming, so they might not keep themselves clean. Number 9 is withdrawal from work or social activities, and this goes back to not being able to have a conversation. So if you can't have a conversation or interact with somebody, then you don't want to talk or be involved in a big group. They might stop attending services or going to a rec center or meeting with their family because they can't have that conversation anymore. Number 10 is changes in mood and personality. So you might see them acting differently. They might be confused, suspicious, depressed, fearful, anxious, and sometimes even moody. So this is the last warning sign. So what can you do? I know it's a very hard disease. It's hard for the caregiver, it's hard for the patient, it's hard for everybody that's around. And so what I'm here to do and to ask you is, there's 3 ways that you can support the Alzheimer's Association. One of them is you can be a volunteer. You can become a trained community educator and help me provide education and awareness in all of our community. El Paso is the number 10th city or place where the prevalence is really high of Alzheimer's and dementia. So the more awareness and education we provide to our community, the better, and maybe that number, will decrease or just get better overall. The second way is that you can be an advocate. So you can help us go to Congress and change laws and policies that help the medication that is coming out be covered by Medicare, Medicaid, insurance companies. So this is the second way. And the third one is if you would like to provide a donation. We have an annual walk. This year it's going to be on November 11th at the zoo. You can join us, have a team, however you would like. So those are the three main options that you have. I'm happy to talk more about it if you'd like after the service. Thank you.
So I asked Maria up here, because I'm the board member of the Alzheimer's Association. So I wanted her to come here. I want to start an initiative, and if it's not this year, next year, to get all the churches and synagogues and temples and mosques together during the month of November to make a purple Sabbath. Make one of their either, for us, the Shabbat day, or for the Christians, their Sundays, and make it a purple Sunday, so that we bathe this whole area in purple, so people know more about Alzheimer's. The reason why, we are 10th in the nation is because of the propensity of Alzheimer's to be shown in the Hispanic community. And it's scary because a lot of the people in the Hispanic community don't have the access to good health care that we might. There are not a lot of doctors who know how to deal with patients with dementia or Alzheimer's. So Maria goes out, and there's other people in the association who come and speak to hospitals and people in the doctor's offices to make sure that the patient is coded the right way. So if they should happen to go to a hospital, they are allowed a caretaker or a loved one in with them in the emergency department. So it's just, and stupid me, I can't say no. I'm taking part in keeping our local representative aware of stuff that the Alzheimer's Association wants to forward in Washington. So if you have any questions, give me a call. Shabbat is nothing without Kiddush. So please rise. Turn to page 5 and join me in singing the Kiddush. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho be'ahava uvratzon hinilanu zikaron l'maaseh bereshit ki hu yom tehillah le'mikra'ei kodesh zecher l'tziat mitzrayim kivanu v'acharta yatanu kidam please remain standing and turn to page 282 for the Aleinu.
Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, l'teit gedula liyotzei bereshit, shelo asanu k'goyei haratzot, velo samanu k'mishpechot adama, shelo sam chelkeinu kahem, v'gor aleinu kechol amona. Vanavnu korin umishtahavim umodim lifnei melech malchei hamlachim hakadosh baruch hu v'ne'emar v'haya Adonai lemelech al kol haaretz v'yom
You may be seated. On page 288, when I die, give what's left of me away to children and old men that wait to die. And if you need to cry, cry for your brother walking the street beside you. And when you need me, put your arms around anyone and give them what you need to give me. I want to leave you something better than words or sounds. Look for me in the people I've known or loved. And if you cannot give me away, at least let me live in your eyes and not in your mind. You can love me best by letting hands touch hands and by letting go of children that need to be free. Love doesn't die, people do. So when all that's left in me is love, give me away. Our thoughts now turn to those who have departed this earth, our own loved ones, those whom our friends and neighbors have lost, the martyrs of our people whose graves are unmarked, and those of every race and nation whose lives have been a blessing to humanity. As we remember them, we meditate on the meaning of love and loss, of life and death. In the first 30 days since their passing, we remember Maurice Bud Carey, Cipriana Estrada, Victor Zane Hollowell, Louis David Weinstein, and Cora Robertson. On the anniversaries of the death, we remember Marvin Aronson, Sophie Bargman, Irving Batkin, Joseph Berger, Leah Berger, Isaac Berger, Bess Dennison Berkman, Charlotte Schifrin Dahl, Abraham Finkelstein, Barbara Given, Irvin Goldfarb, Bruce Lee Gordon, Moses Halkin, Burton Hirsch, Bluma Hoffman, Julian V. Horowitz, Simon Jacobs, Etta Karch, Herman Kaiser, Erna Kerner, Edith Krantz, Eddie Lavis, Max S. Lazarus, Louis R. Lent, Florence Leopold, Mark Levin, Samuel E. Lipson, Bruce Litt, Charles Medici, Bernie Ogren, Max Okun, Lynn Persing, Arthur Rivkin, Michael Rothberg, Joseph Rowan, June Rubin, Benjamin Sattinger, Rebecca Schimmel, Regina Stern Solon, Ann Stillman, Aaron Stolaroff, Harry Swift, Norman Martin Shreve, Naomi Wolf, Shirley Yerish, Bluma Zinger, and Bluma Zinger. Are there any other names that need to be mentioned? Any other people who've lost? We all remember them, and let's rise to support those who are in mourning and to pray for those who don't have anyone to say Kaddish for them. On page 294. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei rabbah, b'alma devrach hirute v'yamlich machute, b'chayechon u'v'yomechon u'v'chayei dekol beit Yisrael, ba'agala u'vizman kari v'imru amen. Yehe shemei rabbah mevarach le'alam lo'mei olmaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemei dekudasha b'richu, Le'ela min kol berachata v'shirata, tushbachata v'nechemata, da'amiram b'yalma v'imru amen. Yehe shlama rabba min shemaya, v'hayinu aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. May the one who creates harmony on high bring peace to us and to all Israel, to which we say, Amen. Please be seated.
Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imru amen.
Before I ask Erlene to come up and give announcements, I want to make more announcements. There is a sign-in sheet on the door going into Zelonka. I got most of the people who came in early, but there are people who walked into the service. I need you, Sandy, I need you to go in and sign in. Maria needs, and Chelsea, you too, needs numbers for the Alzheimer's Association, so they know how many people that she's spoken to about Alzheimer's and dementia. So please, if you can, it's in the little table that's in front of the door going out of Zelonka. Okay? Arlene, thank you.
Shabbat Shalom. Ellen, thank you for a beautiful service. Mindy, Dario, thank you for the beautiful music. Maria, thank you for giving us the very informative information in the warning signs. I hope this helps not only us, but that maybe you'll get a few advocates and volunteers after sharing that information with us today. I'd like to thank Wendy Axelrod for greeting. Thank you to our Shabbat sponsors, Patricia Soy and Andy Gordon in memory of Bruce Gordon, Liz Katz and the Given family in memory of Barbara Given, the Showery family in honor of Flor Hernandez, Bobby Goldfarb in memory of Irvin Goldfarb, Martha Alanis in memory of Julian B. Horwitz, Rick and Felicia Litt in memory of Bruce Litt, and Robert and Eleanor Williamson in memory of Burton Hirsch. This reminder that there is Torah study tomorrow at 9:30 in the boardroom, and everybody is welcome to participate. Tomorrow's Torah study leader will be Stuart Schwartz. There are new Slichot prayer books, and if you'd like to help dedicate a prayer book, please see the weekly bulletin for information. And as always, the Zoom login and other activities that are upcoming are located in the weekly bulletin. Thank you very much for joining us, and Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. This last song, let us bring you peace. Let us bring peace into the world. Let us bring peace into our lives. Please join us. Please stand and join us on page 340 for Havenu Shalom Aleichem.
Havenu Shalom Aleichem, Havenu Shalom Aleichem, Havenu Shalom Aleichem, Havenu Shalom, Shalom, Shalom Aleichem, Havenu Shalom Aleichem, Havenu Shalom Aleichem, Havenu Shalom Aleichem, Havenu Shalom, Shalom, Shalom Aleichem, Havenu Shalom Aleichem, Havenu Shalom Aleichem, Havenu Shalom Aleichem, Havenu Shalom, Shalom, Shalom Aleichem, Havenu Shalom Aleichem, Havenu Shalom Aleichem, Havenu Shalom Aleichem, Havenu Shalom, Shalom, Shalom Aleichem. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. Please join us in Solanka for Kiddush. Jesus, huh?
Yes, it was.
As always. This one. Ellen, thank you. Yes, thank you, Ellen, for sure.